goals, and so it is critical in the terms of nation building. However, I guess the question is, in terms of Nigeria, does our education system, translate to the nation we want to become? I mean, that is a different question entirely. But yes, in my view, education is critical to be where we want to be. We're a country that is predominantly youth, predominantly young people, and if we can't figure out the education, then we're sitting on a ticking time bomb in the next few years.
Right. Thank you very much, Victor Adejoke.
To me, education, I see it as a stepping stone in whatever you want to do, because majority of our youth these days is not really what we learn in school that we now do out there. For instance, now I studied economics from OAU, and I'm not even using it, but I would say that the knowledge that I gained from being educated and some opportunities that I got, majority of the time they request that you should be a graduate or this, even though you know what you want, you know what you can do, like you have the skills, required skills, but sometimes if you are not educated, you might be deprived of that opportunity. So I feel education is very, very critical. Like when it comes to whatever I want to do, even to innovation, it's very, very important.
All right, fantastic. So you studied economics, right, Adejoke? Yes. And then you are creative.
Yes.
You turn waste into wealth.
Yes.
Right. How did you make that transition? Because there are so many people, today that believe that once I go to school, once I'm educated, once I get my degree, then when I go out there into the world, it is jollof. But it's a completely different reality, right? So tell us your story in 5 minutes. How did you find yourself here? And when you were in school, what was your mindset? And how did you make that transition?
Okay, thank you for that beautiful question. So like every other Nigerians, will I say children, the mindset was that you have to go to school. Is it that you study medicine, accounting, engineering, and some courses like that. Until I got to the university, I did not know that some courses exist. Like, I never knew people study biology or something like all these normal courses that we do in school, in secondary school. I did not know that people go to university to go and study for 4 years. In my mind, it was just like, the only course you can study is all this medicine, law, like that was actually what majority of us, I know that it's not only me that feels like this, like when we were growing up. So it was just like that. And I was like, I need to study medicine. So eventually I got into medicine and surgery at Obafemi Awolowo University. So when I got to school in the first year, I started seeing a lot of things, a lot of activities. I was like, so school is actually more than this. Like, it's to me, I now started seeing like a lot of extracurricular activities. Like, school is not just about studying in classroom, like the way we've been taught. Like, we feel education is just about you sitting in class. Like, we do not know more of informal education. It was just the formal one that you need to learn mathematics, English, biology, and stuff like that. So on getting to the university, I saw Red Cross. I was like, wow, what do they do? They say that, okay, that they give first aid and blah, blah, blah. I was like, I would like to do that. I'm in medicine. Why can't I just join Red Cross and volunteer with them? And I joined, and I did some courses, and I started seeing different perspectives to, like, education. Like, because I was like, I'm learning. And it's not even in classroom. I'm learning out there, like, the things that we do for people, helping people. And then I started playing basketball for OAU. I started playing basketball in school. Then I was like, all the travelings and everything that we do for school to represent school. Anytime we travel, you learn one or two things during that journey. And I was like, wow, what am I even doing in medicine? Like, I started discovering myself. Because to me, like, before, it was just, the mindset was, I was going to be a doctor. And honestly, I still tell my mom that I'm still going to be a doctor through doing my PhD. Because she was not happy when I left medicine that the people have been calling her Mama Doctor. So anyways, I'm still going to do that. So eventually, I left medicine in my 3rd year. Then I switched to economics. And during that time, I was already like, God, there are courses in OAU, as in universities, that one can actually like study and make more impact than just being a doctor. Don't get me wrong, doctors save lives and everything, but there are other courses too that you can actually make impact from, like, through them. Then, after I graduated, okay, let me tell you the story that I was born into Ashoke weaving. So I started weaving since age 9, my mom's work. So I started weaving when I was in GSS 1. So Ashoke has always been something that I can wake up like this, like it's something I do effortlessly, weaving. I weave very well. So after I graduated, I came to Abuja to do my youth service. I played basketball and chess for Abuja. During that time, I was able to connect with people in Abuja. And after that, I was like, Abuja is not affordable for me to set up my business. Because during my service, some people came to speak to us from Smidan. And I was like, no, I'm going to change the world. I'm going to change the future for the better. To me, it was not just about money for me. Because where I served, like they were thinking about retaining me in where I served. But I was like, no, I want to do more. Because I saw a problem and I saw a gap in the space of weaving. So when I went back to Ibadan, because I could not afford Abuja, people that know Abuja know that it is not really easy to afford a building as like rent in Abuja, especially a young graduate, someone that just finished service with 19,800. I was just like, let me just go back to Ibadan. So when I go back to Ibadan, to even set up the business was not easy, because during the time I did not do anything. All the money that I saved during my youth service, you know, when you are not working with the money you have, I mean, I just started spending everything. So after finishing the spending, I was like, okay, let me now start what I'm going to do. But before I started my business, I made a research. And one thing that I always tell people is very important. It's not because, do not start a business because you like it, because you feel like it is good. But start it because you know that there's a need for it. You know that people actually want it. They need that thing. So I now made a research, that a customer survey, like, why are people not using Ashoke again? Why have they stopped? Why? So majority of them say that it is heavy and it is not attractive. So I came up with an innovative solution to make sure that it is now lighter and attractive. So during that period, I started doing it gradually, and people were not really turning up like that. You know, people were like, oh, Nigeria, let's make it Nigeria. Like, you cannot make it in Nigeria. You better japa. So they encouraged me to japa. I don't know, like, to travel abroad. Even with the fact that I do not have anything to go and do abroad. Don't get me wrong, it's good to actually go and get knowledge over there and everything. But at that time, I'm telling you that I do not have anything good to go and do over there. Probably I would have cost another wala to their country. So, me too, I was like, this Nigeria, I cannot make it. Let me just go abroad. So that was I now do they just let me do the packaging, blah, 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 like that. In my mind, I was like, I'm going to America. I am going to America. Nothing can stop me. So I went to Lagos a day before my interview and everything like that. So, and like, I was like, do not let me take, because they said that village people, so that they don't follow me to the embassy. So that I'll be able to get that Pali, the visa, and Japa. Eventually, I did not get it. Then I sat at that gate. If you know US Embassy very well, you know that place that is very, this dirty place like that. You know, not dirty, the dusty place. So I sat down there. As it like tears dropped from my eyes. I was like, As it like, because they rejected me, I felt bad. I was like, it's not their fault, though. It's because me, I'm leaving my country. That boy, that small boy. And the guy that interviewed me was actually younger than me. He pained me. The small boy, yeah. You know, I now told myself, I now called the agent. He now said, okay, don't worry, we'll try again. I now asked myself, I said, the office of this agent, he has AC. He's using up and down. He has workers. This man did not travel out, though. He's collecting money from someone like me and you. He's just collecting our money. I was like, why can't I just stay here? And immediately at that point, my mindset changed.
Wow.
my mindset changed, and I was like, no, I can make impact in my country. I can do something good for my country. I can make sure that the problem we are facing, one at a time, because one thing that I always look at is that if you notice these big people in the community, across the globe, they did not set out to make money. They actually set out to create a better future for us. Because money is what they got for getting it right. And that is one thing that we should always note, that just make sure that you have the mindset of making a difference, creating solutions to that problem. And before you know it, I started using my actual skills. I started using it to convert those wastes in the community, using the nylon, weaving any clothes that people are no longer using. We convert that into rug. Any clothes that you feel like is old. Because to me, I see waste is a mindset. Waste is not necessarily something that is bad or something that is no longer useful. But because you do not have a need for it anymore, that's why you see it as waste. If you have some cloth in one corner because you are no longer using it, it doesn't make it that it is old. You can actually give it to someone else. That's what we call circular economy. So you actually like extend it into another place so that someone else can make use of it. Not necessarily saying that waste is bad. No. It's the mindset. It's because we no longer have a need for it at that time. That's why we see it as waste. And that is all my story, yeah.
Thank you very, very much. I hope you learned quite a bit from her story, right? You know, there's so many people that want to leave Nigeria for so many reasons, and there are so many opportunities outside of Nigeria. But have you ever wondered the reason why Chinese people, white people, Indians, all the white people are coming to Nigeria? Have you ever wondered why? It's because they see this place as a land of huge opportunities. And they bring solutions, and they take our money. And so I often say that the way you see the problem is the problem. So let's hear Victor in 5 minutes. So you said you worked in KPMG, right? You were an accountant. How did you transition, and why did you transition? If you can tell us that story in 5 minutes. Okay,
I will try to be 5 minutes. My story is a bit similar and also not too dissimilar. I actually have 2 degrees. I also have a degree in economics for management, and I also have a degree in accounting and finance. I don't know, I never liked school that much, but you know, we had to get the degrees. And then, I don't know, for those of people that are accountants, you then have to have a 3 years, 4 years work experience to become chartered. And so that was what I did. I mean, I moved back to Nigeria in 2012. And I gave myself 5 years to figure out what I want to do in my life. So did my NYSC. I see a lot of coppers in the house, copper show. So did my NYSC and then started working in KPMG for a few years. And in that period, I tried to travel around Nigeria quite a bit. I do travel around. Again, I think I've been to all the states in Nigeria or close to all of them. And I started to see opportunities and problems, you know, that existed. The first thing I ventured into was around processing, agricultural processing. So I have a company that does processing of spices that we get from smallholder farmers. We started this in about 2014, and it was because of a trip I took to the north, you know, Kano, Kaduna, somewhere, and I saw post-harvest losses. But so anyways, I digress. After my 3-4 years in KPMG, wearing suit and tie, I realized that it wasn't the life for me, right? So I think one of the things I'll say is that at every point, everyone has a choice to make. You can either continue in what you think what you think you should do or what you think the society wants you to do, or you can try to step out and do your own thing. And so yes, in about 2016, when I was supposed to be going for a program, I wanted time off KPMG, and they didn't give me time off. So I quit my job. I didn't have a lot of backup. You can imagine my parents were so upset. They were wondering, like, what happened? Are you crazy? You know, what is the backup? But it was more than that for me. I knew that I had gone to the point where I wanted to change, and I knew that I wanted to do something more significant with my time and my life. And so, yes, continued in entrepreneurship 2016, full-time. And in that time since then, it has been absolutely crazy. I mean, talking about education, you know, at the end of the day, my degrees just say accountants and economists, right? But like what I do in practice is so much more. You know, I've gotten into deep technology, I've gotten into circular economy, and the first thing I want to say is this concept of schooling and education is quite archaic. It doesn't really matter in this world that we live in. You know, so for example, who are the drivers these days? Your drivers are not people that go to driving school. Your drivers are people like you and I that get an Uber app and then we become drivers, right? Who are your teachers? Teachers are not people that go to teachers' college. They are people that have courses online, right? So the whole concept of work and education as it is right now doesn't really correspond with what is needed in reality. And for me, almost everything, 99% of what I learned it from the internet. I learned it from talking to people. I didn't learn it from going to school. You know, so yes, I have degrees in all these things, but I don't use it. And this is me. I finished, maybe 10 years ago. And right now, all my knowledge in school is kind of useless. But anyways, the point is, it's not useless, right? Of course. You know, again, school is important. Education is important. It's important to teach you skills that you can use. The skills of learning how to learn. The skills of learning how to communicate. That is what is important for, right? But in terms of the content, right, the content has to be looked at properly for the next generation.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to come to the audience. So does anybody want to contribute to this conversation? You know, the role of education in personal development, the role of education in national transformation. Anything that
Hello.
What are the things that need to be done differently? What are the things that we need to change in our educational system for us to be globally competitive? So let me come to
all right. Good afternoon, everybody. All right. First of all, I'd like to draw a very quick distinction between the essence of education to personal development and the essence of education to national development. Now, as a matter of personal development, it is not a criteria that you get educated for you to be financially buoyant. Education for personal reasons is just for knowledge, basically. I think that is where we have the mix-up. The fact that we all go to school for financial strength is where we have the mistake. Education should be for you to garner knowledge personally. However, the knowledge would always fetch you money along the line. Now, coming to education for national development, that is where the crux of the matter is. In fact, I've been agitating to talk to the Minister for Budget while he was on seat. Currently, the budget of Nigeria has just 5.4% for education. As at last year, it was 7%. And we're all agitating that education is beginning to nosedive in Nigeria. We need to pull up. And then the following year, they come up with a budget lesser than the former year. And as a matter of fact, the only reason why Nigeria is lagging behind among league of countries in Africa and the world is because we have failed to invest in education. One of the things that exposed our loophole as a country was COVID-19. In fact, none of our professors, none of our universities could come up with research bordering on COVID-19. The least we had was polytechnics coming up with an assimilation of ventilators, not even a ventilator, an assimilation of ventilators. So what I'm saying is this: from allocation of 5.4%, is in that 5.4%, they will build infrastructures. It is from there they will pay salaries. It is from there they will put academics up to the local level. Now, how much are they allocating to research? And I put it to you. I wish it's very painful the minister is not here to answer me. I put it to you once again that this country, as a nation, will not develop until we pay attention to education. Going forward, one of the reasons why our leaders find it very convenient, you know, to trample on the youth is because they are aware that we do not have requisite information. And that is one of the things we are supposed to gain through personal development in education. When we have requisite information, when we get quality education, it empowers us to be able to question our leaders at the right time. For example now, for somebody like me now,